Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen to round 2 of the 2019 British Drift Championship. You're joining us live from Driftland here in Scotland, Europe's only purpose-built drift circuit. My name is Ian Waddington and I am joined for qualifying in our pro class by my good friend Sarah Hall. Sarah, we see some really good practice earlier and these guys really put it on the line. Damp conditions, we see it yesterday in our Pro-Am competition and that carries through today. You can see the track there, very difficult track. Yep, so just a little bit of a technical issue there with Sarah's microphone. We're going to get that fixed in a minute. Unfortunately, we can't hear her. Yeah, very difficult track here today. The wet conditions not making it easier. The line from clipping point 1 to 2, very difficult to get. And then obviously, this track, although it looks flat from live stream, it is very much not. Clipping point 1 is on the top of a brow of a hill on the wall, and as those guys travel down through 2 into 3, it actually drops off. So 3 is where you're picking up the most speed. Of course, still on throttle, still on big angle, and a lot of them guys falling off track. We see some very interesting battles yesterday, and you know what, today, from what I've seen in practice, these guys, we've had them sent out in battle situations, you know, lead and chase. These guys put on a real good show.
They really are. We're going to have some super action today, if anything's to go by yesterday with the Pro-Am. So yeah, pro drivers, I'm really interested to see how they're going to handle those conditions today.
Yeah, exactly that. And obviously we've got our 4 top finishers yesterday from our prime class. Paul Cunnington there, you can see the first driver up off the line today. He again was the bridesmaid, didn't manage to get on the podium this weekend. Mike Cowley pipped him to the post and yet again took that 3rd spot on the podium. He now leads that prime championship, so all eyes are on that guy as we move forward. Hugh Saville in that little turbo V8 A86, he will be up next. And then your first place qualifier yesterday and topping the podium, Willie Hanna. And do you know what? Willie Hanna has not stopped. He's like a man possessed. He has been absolutely firing through all day today in practice. No holds barred. He's hungry to finish in the top 4 of the pro class.
He absolutely is, and we said yesterday he is like part of his own car. He's not a driver, he's part of the machine, and he's just been flowing all day yesterday, so yeah, can't wait to see what he brings to this.
He certainly is, yeah, exactly. I am very excited to see how Willie Hanna gets on. We move it along. You can see there Ollie Elmore, Oliver Sillcock, Alistair Sutton, having some teething issues with that car. He said he has to really rev it to get that car to charge the battery alone to run. He said that when he gets halfway through the circuit, the car is cutting out. He's turning the ignition off, still drifting, turning it back on again and keep going.
That is some skill.
That is some skill indeed. We can see we move it along. Robin Neeson, one of our visiting drivers from Ireland, and Stefan Stefanov there, the Bulgarian driver, I do believe, Sarah, is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the Bulgarian driver, I do believe. Having the trip over. Christian Burkhoff, the Latvian, living in London, but he said, pulled the car over from Latvia and said, I'm going to do a whole season of the BDC, loves what we do here. Ricky Lawrence, a local guy, he finished on the top step of the prime class last year here. Now he moves up to the pro class. He's a very good contender. A lot of guys, a lot of the spotters saying he's one of the fastest guys around this track, so something to keep your eye on. Tomas Falvey, we see that car go on fire at the last round. He's back, he's bigger and better this time, and he's got a very, very good line. Judges said that his last practice run here earlier on was a top qualifying run.
That is exactly what he's looking for, isn't it?
So that is what he wants. Aramis Fiscalis, though, as you can see, right at the bottom, the last car to run, our current championship and points leader, Aramis Fiscalis, will finish up qualifying. But look, I'm ready to kick this off. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Let's get it done. It's still raining, so track conditions are going to be very, very similar. It looked like it was going to dry up. The wind's grazed up, and the wind started drying the track out, and you could see the car starting to change, and drivers not really gelling with it. Then the rain come down again, and consistency again. We look across the hills, and we can see more rain blowing in. I mean, props to our guys here in attendance, because they're braving the weather and they're getting it done, and they're watching some really, very good driving this weekend.
Yeah, if you're not here, I mean, what are you missing, honestly?
Exactly.
Get yourselves down. It's fantastic. The atmosphere is brilliant.
So as you can see there, Paul Cunnington in the background, just warming up his tyres. There is a little section behind the start line where these guys are given the opportunity to warm their tyres before they do the run. Obviously, front tyre heat is a big thing, especially in the rain. So Paul Cunnington pulls to the line. And we are ready to go for the first qualifying run of the day of our pro class, and it will be Paul Cunnington, Sarah.
Yeah, Paul Cunnington, project manager from Tamworth, so he's in the 1JZ, about 480 horsepower.
Yeah, Paul Cunnington, nice line so far, nice and deep into the outer zone. Paul Cunnington, like the rest of our prams, but he washes the wheel off track there. You can see very, very sketchy. Gets into that outer zone 3. Now he's going to be looking for 4, nice and wide. We just did have our guys, our marshals, back out on circuit, repainting the lines as best we could in these wet conditions, just to give our drivers best opportunity to not drop wheels. In the briefing this morning, judges saying that 2 wheels off the edge of the circuit, denoted by that white line or the curbing, would be a 0. So these guys, a lot of the pros were very, very conscious about not dropping wheels. Yeah,
which isn't easy in these conditions when it's really, really extra slippy out there. All the rubber that's been laid down, there's rain on top of it now. It's extra slippy, so yeah, coming off the track is a challenge in itself to avoid, isn't it?
Exactly that, and a lot of guys worried about that, not getting a qualifying score. Not sure if we're going to get a score there for Paul Cunnington. And as we can see, the team locked and loaded driver. 3rd place on the podium yesterday. Oh, there we go. So score drops in for Paul Cunnington and a 47. So a 47 on his first qualifying run.
On the line now we've got Martin Cowley, Nissan S14, 2JZ, and he is a machinist in the F1 industry. That's quite an interesting job, isn't it?
Well, that's better than, my job.
Better than our job.
Yeah. So we get the thumbs up in the tower and we are ready to go. Martin Cowley, as Sarah says, sitting on the line. So sun comes out, so this could be a big game changer. Rain stops, sun comes out. Cowley looking super fast in practice, nice and close to the wall. Good line through that could be point 1, but it's very deep. just about hangs onto it. Gets into the outer zone 2, and you can see there are 3 dotted lines on the circuit. That denotes where the judges wanted to see the front wheels of the drift car go through. You can see midline there for Cowley. He's going to struggle to get all the way into the outer zone, and he does. Just drops the wheel on the edge of that line. Gets back into it though, looking for a nice wide line here. You can see the dotted line. That is the edge of the circuit for this half of the run. And Cowley puts foot to floor, takes it into that box, just about catches a wheel on the edge of that clipping point box. There is a clipping point right on there. It is clipping point 1 and 6. So guys have to be all the way in it. You know, the judges wanted to see the car on the wall.
Yeah, we've had a few bumpers took off, so there's definitely some drivers hitting that wall over this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of guys will be taking home some damage from this weekend. As you can see, scores dropping in there for Martin Cowley. And then we go a 53 for Martin Cowley. We're moving along. Hugh Saville now sits on the line.
Yeah, he's in the A86 V8, representing Renegade Race Fuel, Westlake, APW Engineering and Huey Lewis Tyres.
Yeah, very nice job there on initiation from Hugh Saville. Looked like he had problems with the gearbox last night, but he got that car into the garage here, the Lee Smart Racing garage, just across the pits, got it up in the air on the ramp and said, no, you know what, I think it's all right. I think I'm good to go for tomorrow. And Hugh Saville, the polite Welshman, puts that car nice and close to the edge of the line there and looking very confident. Look at this, the sun coming out for qualifying. Who could have predicted it, Sarah? It looked like it was going to be wet all day. The weather forecast said that at 1 o'clock it was going to dry up, and look at that, Saville onto the walls, he takes it across the line.
Yeah, and I think the weather's been as unpredictable as the results so far this weekend.
You was going to say the driving. Just say it. The driving. Don't hold back. It's our job. It's what we're allowed to do. We're allowed to say what we want to say.
You know, we're allowed to objectify.
So scores dropping in. Looks like it's going to be a very, very good first score there for Hugh Saville. And obviously our judges this weekend are 66 there. 66 our judges this weekend. Obviously our head judge Brad McQueen, Gaz Taylor, and our guest judge this weekend, our local guy Carl Chisholm, joins the judging team.
So next up we've got William Hanna. Yeah, he's off already. He's in the Skyline R33, RB25.
Yeah, one of the lowest powered cars in our pro class right now.
300 horsepower, yeah, so relatively low in drift terms.
Yeah, exactly that. And in our pro class we have some very, very high horsepower cars, but William Hanna at the moment doing a very, very good job. You can see that track drying up already with a little bit of wind and a little bit of sun shining through the clouds here at Driftland. And Hanna qualified first yesterday and topped the podium. And he said to me, I'm desperate to get in that pro class. I'm desperate to finish in that top 4. I just want to be in that pro class. That's where it's at. That's where the battles are door on door. No messing around.
And he's certainly done that. He's in it today. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. Can he do a very good job in qualifying as we await the score to drop in? Obviously 24 drivers today out of our pro class make it through into competition later on. We will have a top 24 competition. Our top 8 drivers automatically qualifying for that top 16. And look at that, a very, very nice score from Willie Hanna at the moment. Look at that, a 75 for Willie Hanna. So Willie Hanna doing a very good job there.
So we've got Ollie Bolton off the line there in the SR20 S13. He finished top 11 in Prime last year.
Yeah, very, very good finish last year for Ollie Bolton in the Funk Motorsport S13. Look at that, nice and wide from Bolton, gets that front wheel over those 3 hash marks. Look at that, very wide on the outer extremities of the circuit. This is what the judges want to see. It almost looked like he was going to stall it up though. Well, he just sacrificed the edge of that outer zone 4. Gets back online now, washes nice and wide to the edge of the circuit. He's taking a midline though. This is not as wide as we've seen. This is where the track conditions change. And Ollie Bolton puts that car on the wall and takes it across the finish line. This is where it comes into play with the track drying. You know, Ollie Bolton was out, it was constantly wet. Now it's ever so slightly in certain places just starting to dry. This is going to change qualifying completely.
This is going to change it up massively, isn't it? So we've got Mark Gemmell next. He's quite a local driver.
Yeah, we just got a score first coming in for Oliver Bolton. Just waiting for our judges to input their score. It looks like a pretty good mid-pack score. Judges liking it. Some points to be gained back. Carl, not so much. And then we go at 64 for Oliver Bolton's first qualifying run.
2017 Scottish Drift Champion is Gemmell off the line in a minute. And he's in the 350Z, 500 horsepower. So yeah, he's pulling up a bit more power than the last couple of drivers. Let's see how he handles his conditions.
Yeah, Mark Gemmell, our local here at Driftland. Look at that nice initiation from Gemmell, a little feint, nice and close to the wall, very, very wide from Gemmell, but is it 2 wheels over the edge of the circuit? As we mentioned, Judge is going to be very tight on that, just does drop down there on that outer clipping zone 2. Gets himself back online though as Gemmell makes his way around. N54 BMW 4-cylinder turbo underneath the bonnet of this car. 6-cylinder turbo. And Gemmell there on a midline. You can see that car really start to slow up then. He has to really work to get it back out on that qualifying line. And Gemmell puts in a pretty good qualifying run there. You could just see, I just got caught up. You could see already in the middle of the circuit, the track almost completely dry. Very, very strange. That's going to be very difficult for the guys to manage as they go on, because the initiation is very, very wet. Very low score there, though, for Mark Gemmell coming in. Yeah, and a 45. So judges not liking that. Some bits that they found weren't the best. We go back to the line, Sarah.
We've got Peter Hayden, which is a BMW V8 Supercharged, 500 horsepower, representing Maxstream Tuning Limited and M&W Autos.
Yep, Peter Hayden off the line, the man from Cambridge. Looks like he's jumped into his brother's car. We see this car in competition yesterday, and this will be the 3.2 Evo powered BMW E36 Compact, and a big error there on initiation. I know Hayden having a few issues with that supercharged Nissan Laurel. And Hayden, no doubt, will try and complete the run, but I can assume that is going to be a 0 score there for Hayden. So there we go, finishing up that run.
There must be a lot of pressure on him because he's had to borrow that car.
Off his brother.
And yeah, no pressure there then, eh? Not going to fall out over that, I'm sure.
No, look at that, we make it official. It will be a 0 there for Pete Hayden's first qualifying run. Up next on the line, Sarah, with someone that's quite well known in the drifting circles, should we say?
He certainly is. It's David Egan from Ireland. Yeah, his car's quite a good horsepower, isn't it? I've heard rumours about this. 1,000 horsepower?
Yeah, well, it would have been if it was the right car. Unfortunately, Dave Egan struggling to get that Ford Mustang together and brought over for this event. Unfortunately, a cam shaft position sensor failing, not being able to get one, so he jumped in his other car, because you know what, he's got more than one car.
Selection, obviously.
And Dave Egan fires in the Sillcock Mobile Racing Drift Games 180SX SR20 under the bonnet, 400 horsepower, I do believe. And Egan doing a good job so far. A little wobble there as he comes into the out zone 3.
And this is where it's going to change. It's really getting dry on that.
Look at that tyre smoke now. Yeah, exactly. So interesting facts about David Egan. Oh, he does drop a wheel over the edge of the track. He said he's going to qualify first, and he's going to beat Tomas Falvey in the final. He told me this last night repeatedly over an ice cold beer, and he said he will be the first person to get champagne on Peter Nielsen's race suit. So if you see the race suit that David Egan is actually wearing, it's called a tuxedo, and it's actually it looks like a tuxedo, but it's a race suit. Very, very clever design from Peter Nielsen and the crew. David Egan said, "I need a suit. Can I borrow your one? It's fresh." He said he's got no champagne on it, so low blow there to Eden. He said he hasn't lost a battle in 3 years, and I said to him, well, that's because you haven't done a battle in 3 years, Dave. A 42 there for David Egan on his first qualifying run. Hasn't top qualifying yet, so he's got a big statement to prove. But Sarah, we go back to the line, and this one's going to be a difficult one for you, but we'll let you off. Take it easy.
Judilymus Evaluscus. Going with that.
Well, there we go.
And hopefully that's near enough and I haven't offended him.
Knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, in the Skyline R33 2JZ.
Yep, the Lithuanian now making his way into the outer zone 2. You can just even the rev limit. I'm very, very wet on that initiation, and you can see very wet. And at the middle of the circuit there, it's starting to dry. It does drop a wheel over the edge of the track. And look at that, look how patchy it is on the drive. You can just get to see where the track is dry and where it's still wet. And that's going to affect him. Look at that. He puts on big angle to hold it on some form of line. But Gediminas does manage a qualifying run, although very scrappy indeed. So score drops in there for Gediminas. You can see his profile picture. He's having fun. So a very, very low score there for Gediminas. And there we go, a 17, so a 17 is definitely going to have to pull his socks up if he's going to find himself a place in that top 24. We go back to the start line.
Yeah, we have next up Leonard Kepper. He's a Romanian driver, lives in London, representing Hack Engineering, Funk Motorsport and Reddish Motorsport in the BMW M3 Turbo.
Yeah, there we go, the iRock Performance Westlake tyres, E46 BMW. We see Kepper earlier. Put that car in the gravel, take the rear bumper off DB, the tyre. Oh, and again, looks like 3 wheels off circuit there from that drone shot for Leonard Kepper. And Kepper, no doubt, will want to try and do as much as he can to finish off this run. I can only assume it will be a 0. You can see there look big puddles at certain points of the track and then other parts dry. That is going to make it so inconsistent, so difficult for these guys to put in a decent qualifying run. And look at that, yeah, a 0. So it will be a 0 for Leonard Kepper's first qualifying run, and we go back to the line. to the guy who's probably got the biggest spoiler in the BDC paddock.
I like it. Looks
You
good.
like it, yeah? It's part of you.
Is it
you like that?
Is it far more of a function though?
I think it's.
We'll have to ask him.
It's just for the lols.
For the lols. Yeah, the Hell Performance Nissan Skyline R33 2JZ Ollie Elmore.
Yeah, the man coming all the way from Devon, representing Westlake Tyres, GDA, Motive Components and Weissfab, and you can see him there using all of that Weissfab steering lock kit as he puts it on big angle, looks at the outer zone. This guy now actually struggling again with problems with this car. If you follow Ollie Elmore on social media, I think it's Ollie Elmore BDC, the throttle body on this car seems to have gone into overdrive. When he sits on the line, doesn't actually want to idle. He has to keep pressing the accelerator to get that car to idle. It just wants to shut off and do crazy things. He said it's fine when he's driving, but then when he lifts off the throttle, which is, you know, in the de-acceleration zone, a zero there for Ollie Elmore. Cracked the inlet manifold at round 1 there, put all that car apart. The injectors were blocked. He has had nothing but dramas this season, and Ollie Elmore really feeling the pain. We move it back to the start line there, Sarah.
Yeah, next off the line we've got Ollie Sillcock. He's come from Essex. He's your way, isn't it?
Certainly is, by the way. One of my home slices.
In the 1JZ PS13.
Yeah, it says sponsors needed, but right now it looks like Ollie Sillcock's doing a good job on his own as he makes his way down. Nice big clutch kick. Oh, he has to drag on the handbrake though. He has to use the handbrake to extend that into the outer zone 3. And now Sillcock finds himself back on that qualifying line. You can see how perfect drone shot there, giving you all that live footage we need. Nice and wide as Sillcock puts foot to floor, but just sacrifices outer zone 6 there. You know what, for me, I think he didn't want to go in the puddle and put that car into the wall, so he said, I'm going to sacrifice 10 points of a clipping point and I'm going to make it across the line and put a score on the board. There's been a lot of zeros so far, but what will the judges score him? It's obviously an average out of the 3 judges. And there we go, a 42 for Ollie Sillcock.
There's Alistair Sutton on the line there, ready to go, giving us a little wave.
Yeah, another one of my homeboys.
Another homeboy.
Another homeboy.
Essex. And he's in the S14A with a BMW V8 in this one.
Yeah, certainly is. BMW 4.4 V8, and this is the car that Alistair Sutton says he has to turn off and turn back on mid-drift. It just goes to show you the talent that this young guy has. An incredible driver is Alistair Sutton. The 2017, I do believe, Drift Cup champion. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and the 2018 third in place in BDC Prime overall. Just couldn't get to the top, but finished 3rd place. And look at that. That car just struggling with a little bit of issues. You can see just not playing ball. When the rain came down, Alistair Sutton was dancing around the pits. He was so happy because he was like, "This is me. If this rains, I'm gonna be on the top step here." But unfortunately, the weather took a turn for the worse, and well, a turn for the better for the guys here in attendance. And now it's starting to dry up massively. So just wait for that score to drop in. Judges just deliberating that one ever so slightly. Oh, and it will be a 0. It will be a 0 there for Alistair Sutton. We move it along to the next guy on the line, Sarah.
Yeah, Hayden Cruikshank in the Toyota Cresta. Now, this is quite an interesting car. Sponsors, Fig Newtons. Is that official?
Ricky Bobby, yep.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby, yep.
What was that? Shake and bake?
Shake and bake. Yeah, 650 horsepower Toyota Cresta JZX81.
First year in Pro Class.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you know what? He's gelled with this like a duck to water. He's really found himself a place in the Pro Class. A very competitive driver. This guy, you know, in his spare time, he flies to Japan to drive at Ibisu, one of the holy grails of drift tracks. And this guy has got his own cars out there. He flies out with his friends, grabs some cars and goes drifting. Really does enjoy drifting as a whole. Doesn't take it too serious, as you can tell by the livery on Hayden Cruikshank's car. But nevertheless, when he is behind the wheel, it is strictly business for Hayden Cruikshank. But it's massive error there. You can see all 4 wheels locked up as he headed into the outer zone 3. Cruikshank now get himself back into it, and these weather conditions are just playing havoc with these drivers. Oh, and again, look, 3 wheels off circuit, and it's going to be an over rotation as he comes to a stop on the circuit. So we'll assume that's a 0 there for Hayden Cruikshank. This has really mixed up the Pro Class right now.
It really has.
We thought that we was going to have a really easy qualifying session. We was going to see some 80s, some 90-point runs, and now we're seeing zeros after zeros after zeros. And this is, you know, these guys would be kicking themselves in the car. So back to the line we go, Sarah, for the next driver of the day.
The RX-7, Jason Clark from Wakefield. So yeah, he's not too far from me. He can be my mate.
He can be your mate.
He can be my mate. Representing Slide, Competition Clutch, Ram Air and Fuchs Oils.
Yeah, a very nice initiation there from Jason Clark. Looked like he was struggling in practice earlier, just looked like he couldn't gel with the line, but right about now, Jason Clark making it work in that Competition Clutch Mazda RX-7. Just about gets a wheel into that clipping point, so he will score some points He sacrifices 4 there completely on the wrong line as he transitions back, and again shallow line there into 5. It's going to hurt his line now as he makes his way to the wall. You can hear that car really bogging down as Jason Clark throws some more angle at it and across, just about makes it across the line. So look at that, a 0 from Brad. So did the rest of the judges agree? Is it going to be an incomplete run or a complete 0? Yeah, and it looks that way. A 0 for Jason Clark. So judges not messing around. 2 wheels off circuit is 2 wheels off circuit here. And up next, one of our veterans of UK drifting, Judy Robinson.
Judy Robinson, I know she's an absolutely fantastic driver. I love seeing her out there. She's in the Skyline R32, RB25. She's had this car since the beginning, I think, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's had it since day one. She had that car when I first ever turned up to a BDC event, and that was in 2008. And this young lady got herself on the podium in that event. Can she do it again 11 years later? Judy Robinson. Would like to say a huge thank you to Willie Hanna for lending her the tyres on the back of this car. Willie Hanna see the rain falling down, and he noticed that Judy Robinson was only on road tyres and said, you need some more grip, you need to be able to make it around here consistently. Judy Robinson borrowed some Tri-Ace tyres, some grippy semi-slicks off of Willie Hanna, and you can just see now not really playing to her advantage.
Unfortunately not, but I think it's the track conditions really are really testing everyone at the moment, because that middle section especially is really drying out rapidly, and people are getting the momentum around the first section, then they're coming out of 2 and 3. Yeah, it's really catching people out.
It certainly is, and Julie Robinson that will score a 0. She wants to say shalom to all the Driftland, braving the elements to come and support me. Much love. She's got some good supporters that are back on the line, Sarah.
Robin Neeson from Ireland. He is in 180 SX.
Yeah, 180 SX. That's an import.
I've been learning about these.
So there we go, look at that. No messing around for Sarah Hall, ladies and gentlemen.
3.42 JZ.
Yeah, 800 horsepower. Drives in Drift Games Extreme in Ireland, the refrigeration engineer. Representing Fleetcool Refrigeration, ARD Design Kits, Kits and Bits, Dash, Photo, MMD and AO Tech. And judges clapping. Oh, but he sends it off circuit. And Robin Neeson puts wheels off the edge of the track there. And it looked like it was going to be a very good run up until that point.
That's the same part that's catching everybody out, isn't it?
Yeah,
coming out of 3,
it's still wet
it's
there.
drying up quite a lot, and then it's. I think people are just not, feeling how the track is, because it's changing so rapidly.
So how about this? That is the 5th 0 in a row in our pro qualifying session. So we haven't. The last person to score a run was Oliver Sillcock with a 47. Everybody else from then till now has scored a 0. Can Nathan Chivers make it the next driver, Sarah? Tell us all about him.
Let's see if he can. The guy from Kent, and he's representing Hill Performance, Lencore Motor Spares and Astral Signs in the Nissan RPS 13, an LS2 supercharged 700 horsepower.
Yep, another guy that's been in the game for a very long time, drifting since 2008. Been on top steps a few times, but he said never got the result he always wanted, but he always walks away smiling, and that is the name of the game.
That is exactly what we want. And if you get a great result, that's a bonus.
Exactly that. So Nathan Chivers sits on the line in that very, very nicely built Hell Performance S13. And what's stopping you?
What's stopping me?
Look at that, Nathan Chivers off the cat like a scolded, off the line, something like a scolded cat. Oh, but big grip on the initiation. That threw him across the track. Wild from Chivers as he throws big angle in it. He's managed to hold it together at the moment. Can Chivers put in a scored run? Big handbrake drag though as he comes into that outer zone 3. And now puts foot to floor as he finds outer zone 4. Nice transition back. Will set him up perfectly for that outer line. He doesn't get all the way out there. Oh, but he's on wheels off the edge of the circuit. He's going to get to the wall very early. Yeah, has to throw a big angle on it to avoid contact with the wall. And I can only assume that will be another 0 score. And yeah, it is. Look at this, another 0 score. So if you are in attendance, or Hell Performance are here in attendance, selling some really cool stuff, and they said to any driver that breaks their car this weekend, they'll help fix it for free. If it's a brake line, power steering line, an oil cooler line. Steve down there from Hell Performance, travelling all the way up from Devon. Incredible service and incredible sponsor to the championship. Don't forget, obviously, Drift Games are here in attendance, selling clothing and merchandise, along with Walton Motorsport, and obviously our own shop, our British Drift Championship merchandise shop.
And Drift Games.
You can spend so much money here; it's unreal. Sarah, off the line.
Yeah, Alexis Drew from London. So he's in the R34 2JZ, 666 horsepower.
Yeah, Drew, just a scrappy initiation there. Look like that car bouncing. Oh, it's going to be very wide. Yeah, 4 wheels off the circuit there for Alexis Drew. Yeah, the full-time hedge fund manager, a part-time junglist soldier.
That's definitely another interesting job description, isn't it?
It definitely is. It definitely is an interesting job description there.
So he was first at first at round 1, yeah, Pro-Am class. So, well, that's a little while ago, mind.
That was 2008.
Do you think he's still got it?
That was in 2008. That was a long time ago.
It was a little while ago. He's still got something
Has he
in there.
still
Let's
got
see
it?
if we can do it
Well,
again.
he hasn't at the moment. That will be a 0 scored run. 4 wheels off the circuit. Doesn't give you a judged run. A scored run, sorry, so that will be a 0. We need to make it official from our judges, though. We'll bring that graphic up on your screen. And there we go, a 0 from Alexis Drew. Up next on the line, Stefan Stefanov.
Yeah, Bulgarian driver. Has he come all the way over from Bulgaria as well?
Do you know what?
That would be a dedicated trip. So he's in the S13 2JZ, 500 horsepower. He loves being door-to-door, he said.
Well,
that's not salesman though, is it? That is drifting he's talking about.
Yeah, it's not a salesman, but that's a very bad line, a very bad initiation from Stefan Stefanov. That guy broke down in practice earlier on, and I haven't seen him back out on the circuit since then, so the weather conditions here at Driftland have changed drastically from the last time that Stefanov did a practice run. And you can see a very scrappy initiation. He manages to find some form of a line in the middle of the circuit. He is going to put a run in. But that score, I can only imagine being very, very low from our judges. The initiation, he got through that line, which denotes the beginning of the scoring zone. He dived across the track, and yeah, look at this. Brad scores him a 15, and Stefanov scores a 21. So a 21 there for Stefan Stefanov. Up next, Christian's Burkhoffs.
BMW E36 LSX Supercharged, 700 horsepower, representing Driftview, Mexports and RA Graphics.
Yeah, Driftview in the house, the nicest guys around. All the way from Latvia. They said they're going to leave this car in the UK and compete full season this year.
That's what I want to say.
Christian Burkhoff's in practice putting down some very, very nice chase and lead runs. Needs to get himself replacing the top 24 first. Nice initiation, but he's very wide. As Christian, and a big wobble from Burkhoff's there as he manages to get himself back into it again, sets himself up nice now on a good line coming into outer zone 3. And Burkhoff's puts foot to floor. He's going to sacrifice for it. Yeah, he's on a shallow line. That's going to hurt him. He wheels over the edge of the circuit again. Judges are going to be watching that. Burkhoff's looks to finish off the run, but again sacrifices another clipping point. Oh, it will be a 0, so a 0 there for Christian Burkhoffs. We're not going to have a top 24 at this point.
We're
going to have a top 4. That is going to be it.
It'll be a short afternoon then, won't it?
It will be a short afternoon on the line. The DKM sponsored driver of Adam Simmons in that brand new. What are your favourite car, did you say earlier?
I mean, look at the livery on it. It just looks the business, doesn't it?
It does look the business.
It's a great car, and I love that it's a little bit different to most of the other things out there. He stands out a little bit, doesn't he?
Yep.
BMW Z4 LS3 under there. And he is from Sheffield as well, which is near me, so he can be my pal too.
Yeah, Adam Simmons said he's struggling with his car on twin battles, just said he can't find the balance, he can't get it right, you know, when he's door on door with someone, it just feels like the front of the car is too far forward, and you can see now those changing weather conditions absolutely hampering any shot that Adam Simmons has got of getting inside that top 24, and comes many straight-ins completely offline. A very scrappy run. Not sure if the judges will even actually score that as 0 for the amount of times that he was straight. Yeah, look at that, he was straight more times than he was sideways, so that will be a 0.
Next on the line we've got Ricky Lawrence. He's a local driver, isn't he? He's from Scotland, and he started off in the Scottish Drift Championship.
Yeah, and a big cheer, you can hear that big cheer there from Ricky Lawrence.
Definitely got some Ricky Lawrence fans there.
Yeah, finished up on the podium last year in Pro-Am. What an initiation from Lawrence. Absolutely incredible. As he puts foot down, you can see the judges clapping, and this is what they come to see. No messing around from Lawrence, but he's very wide. Oh, just drops a wheel. And he straightens. And you know what? If he would have stayed in that, just that one wheel drop would have been allowed, and he would have got away with that. And it will be a 0 for Lawrence's first qualifying run.
He unnerved himself there, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You know what? He thought that was going to fire the car into the gravel 4 wheels off track, so he got out of the throttle and thought, I'd rather.
Yeah,
exactly. So it will be a 0 for Lawrence. This is incredible. I've never seen a pro qualifying session with so many zeros. It's unbelievable. Up next on the line, Oliver Evans.
Yeah, Welsh driver, so he's done quite a journey to be with us today. And he's in the 2JZ 700 horsepower, representing VP Racing, Link ECU, DY Engines, Olico and APW Engineering.
Yep, and look at that from Evans, puts the back bumper onto the wall. And this guy been absolutely flying in practice, been door on door with every competitor here. Look at this, Evans, that DY Engines 2JZ under the bonnet, absolutely singing now. We are starting to make some smoke, and look how much the track has dried, and even Evans struggles to get to that zone 4. He's on a good line. Evans right now looks like he could possibly top qualifying, because this is one of the best runs we've seen at the moment. Takes it across the finish line, and Oliver Evans scores finally, and the judges are relieved we have a score.
It's took a little while, hasn't it?
It took a long while.
That track is definitely drying out. Look at the smoke.
So Oliver Walton currently tops qualifying with a 66. What does Oliver Evans drop in with? Oh, and a 55, so a 55 there for Oliver Evans, and we are ready to go. And I'm mistaken, so Hugh Saville and Oliver Waltons are tied at the top with a 66. Topping qualifying at the moment, Willie Hanna, but off the line, Martin Wonnacott.
Martin Wonnacott in the Toyota Chaser, JZX 100, 700 horsepower car, and he apparently is the oldest guy on the grid.
He certainly is the oldest guy on the grid. I've been watching Martin Wonnacott drive for numerous amounts of years now, and this guy, not scared of a road trip. Him and his wife Karina, they get in that van and they will travel the length and breadth of this country to go drifting. Always got a smile on his face, always happy with whatever result comes their way. Representing Pro Drift, Pro Tuner, Walton Motorsport, Exo Racing, Figs Engineering, Hell Performance and Turbo Smart. Oh, and tags the wall and takes the back end off of it, does Martin Wonnacott, putting on a show for the crowd. So it looks like we could potentially get a score for Martin Wonnacott. Oh, did he straighten before the finish line? That's what the judge will be looking at. We're just going to get a clean up on R3. We're going to get our marshal down there, just have a little sweep up, make sure there's no debris on the track. So the score does drop in for Martin Wonnacott. And there we go, a 57, so a 57 for Martin Wonnacott on his first qualifying run. And we move it along to the next guy, sitting on the line, ready to rock and roll, Thomas Falvey.
Thomas Falvey, another one of our Irish drivers, Nissan S15 RB25, representing Elite Autos, Drift 2 Motorsport, Boost Design, Mobile One, Corbo seats. 650 horsepower under this one.
Yeah, RB25, Nissan S15, and the construction project manager for Ireland makes his way off. And this guy, we see this car go up in flames. Round 1 of championship. Look at this for Falvey, puts that car on the wall, takes the back line out of S15, real on the line. And Thomas Falvey now looks for the rest of this qualifying run. He now puts foot to floor. Look at that, but the dry line, sacrificing that clipping point, pushing him away from it. Falvey now starts to rethink about what he's doing. Oh! Throws big angle. I thought that was an over rotation, and Falvey just about pulls off a qualifying run. Very scrappy in the middle. The initiation of up to clipping point 2 was very, very nice, but then from there on out it was very scrappy. As soon as the track dried, he gained a lot of grip, and it will be at 0, so a 0 for Falvey. David Egan said he was going to be in the final with Falvey. Falvey needs to qualify to be in the final.
He does, absolutely. Let's see what he can do in a minute on his second run. And we've got Mike Walton up next, Nissan S13 2JZ. He reckons there's quite a lot of power in it. That's his description.
There's quite a lot of power there. Yeah, that Walton Motorsport S13 looking good at the moment. Oh, what a big error for Walton. Yeah, just about held on to it though, and you can see he dialed a lot of grip in the back of that car, almost lifted the front wheels off the floor as he pushes that accelerator. Gets back online though, as Mike Walton. With that many zeros on the board, all he needs to do is put in some qualifying score and gets it across the line. Just 2 more drivers to go. Oh, look at that pose.
Look at that profile picture. That's Tinder all over, isn't it?
That hair, it's like a sheep. A 49. So a 49 there for Mike Walton.
He said he doesn't need a pillow.
He doesn't need a pillow, indeed. Up next though on the line,
Scott Cartledge from Chesterfield. He's in the Nissan PS13 4.3 V8, 700 horsepower, and he was in 3rd place at round 1.
He certainly was, but he goes very wide and drops 4 wheels off the edge of the circuit, and it goes majorly wrong for Cartledge. Yeah, he found himself on the podium at round 1, but unfortunately for Cartledge right now, that car looking in tatters as he takes
half
it away.
Half a side skirt hanging off the side of it.
Yeah, is he going to make his way back to the pits, or is he going to go back to the back of the queue? I'm not quite sure.
He's going to
make his way back into the pit, yeah.
Yeah, go and get that car checked out.
Looks like you need some running repairs there, Sarah.
Yes, a little bit of duct tape required.
Some zip ties.
If it can't be fixed by them two or a hammer,
It's done, you're out. Yeah, it's finished. Weekend over. So we wait to make that official there and get the score on the board. Yeah, and a 0 there for Scott Cartledge. It's incredible. I've never seen a pro competition with this many zeros and this many low scores.
Insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane.
It just goes to show you how much the track conditions change that quickly. You know, there was only a 20-minute break between the end of practice and the beginning of qualifying, and in that 20 minutes the sun broke through the clouds. We've now got beautiful blue skies above us, and the track is almost completely dry. Yeah, incredible stuff. The final driver on the line though will be this guy. Look at this, we're just going to see a replay of the crash from Scott Cartledge. Did a good job there to get it out of the gravel, not requiring any sort of recovery.
Yes.
But up next, Aramis Vaskelis.
Yes, our last driver for the first runs. Lithuanian guy, lives in London. Lithuanian lunatic, I've heard him described as.
I gave him that. I gave him that.
Is that you taking ownership of that one?
I did it, but that's what I called it, the Lithuanian lunatic. And he is a Lithuanian lunatic.
He is in the E46, which has got an S54 B32 turbo M3 engine. 1,000 horsepower, is that right?
That is right.
1,000 horsepower, that's insane.
Yeah, 1,000 horsepower resides underneath the bonnet of this E46 BMW, just splattered our camera with race fuel there, representing daily cars, a Litcraft, a powerful force, strong security doors, individuals racing parts. And yeah, this guy finished top step on the podium. He's going to be looking to, you know, undefeated at the moment in the UK because he won round one. He won the final round in 2018. He won round one. He's going to be looking to top qualifying here and win round two and just continue that momentum.
He's going to want to defend that, isn't he?
Exactly.
For sure. And he does say that life's too boring to drive slow cars.
Well, you know what? He's not wrong. He is not wrong. So the Lithuanian lunatic warms up the tyres on the back of that individual parts. Litcraft E46 BMW.
Safe to say the track at the end is definitely dry.
The start line and the warm-up area is completely dry. Yeah, look at this. Aramis Vaskelis, known for his smoke, known for blinding his opponents with an incredible smoke screen and you know, making it impossible for them to chase. Could he get the weekend he wanted as they come off the line? It will be Vaskelis for the last of our first qualifying runs. You can see there how patchy the initiation is. Vaskelis, so good job so far. You see him just left foot braking there, locking up that front wheel, gets to that qualifying line, drops the wheel perfectly in those three dash markings. Nice line into the outer zone 3, and now starts to make some smoke as he churns up the track in the middle of the circuit. Good transition back for Vaskelis, will set up on a nice line. And this is the Aramis Vaskelis that we all know as he stands on the accelerator and looks for the wall. Sacrifices 6, but does get a run in and a score on the board. And he'll know that a lot of these guys have scored zeros, and he had to put a run in. He had to put a score in to get inside that grade 8. So where does Aramis Vaskelis, the lunatic, score? Is he the head teacher? I think he is.
Yeah, I reckon he'd fit with that, yeah. The head teacher of the lunatic school.
So we wait the score to drop in there for Aramis Vaskelis. And the wind's still coming. The wind's still
really picking up now.
Yeah, really picking up. You can see how
we're getting a bit seasick up here.
The 720 flag up there in the middle of the circuit by our big screen, blowing around. And judges just deliberating that one, not quite sure. Did they see something we didn't see? So a 68 for Kyle, just waiting for the 2 more scores from our other judges to drop in. And then we go a 65 from Gaz. What does Brad score him? A 40. So a 57, and Brad not liking what he's doing there. So 57 for Aramis Vaskelis on his first qualifying run, and we move it right back to where we started with this man. 4th place finisher yesterday in our prime class, Paul Cunnington. So Paul Cunnington off the line, a 47 on his first qualifying run. You know what, he'll be feeling safe at the moment in the knowing that a lot of these guys have scored zeros. Oh, and a big understeer there for Paul Cunnington, finds himself right in the middle of the circuit. He's got to be very, very careful now. He wants to really get 2 consistent runs or slightly improve on his second qualifying run. As he transitions into outer zone 5, you can see him way offline. Oh, and he aborts the run. So Paul Cunnington there aborting the run. And I can only assume that will be a 0. Because driving's not drifting, Sarah.
It's not, unfortunately. You do need to be sideways a bit, don't you? Kind of required. Yeah, it's confirmed. That is a 0 run for his run 2.
Yeah, perfect. It certainly is. And he currently sits in 9th place. Martin Cowley now with a 53 on his first qualifying run. He will find himself safe in competition now. Judges say this guy was one of the fastest guys out on circuit in the wet. But what is he like in the dry? That's where it counts right now. As he comes off the line. Cowley for his second qualifying run of the day. And he'll be super confident. Look at that, onto the wall goes Cowley, almost dragging that wing over the edge of it. Oh, but a big understeer again. You can see that river. There's like a river that runs across the middle of the track there. As soon as the guys are getting their front tyres in that, messing up their line, pushing them way off that qualifying line, you can see Cowley sacrificing 3 there. He's have to work hard now to get himself back on that qualifying line. He throws big angle at 5. But he's going to be over the line. He certainly is. Look at that. He's in the gravel, so that is definitely wheels off track there for Martin Cowley. That could be a 0, another 0. What is going on? What is going on with these guys? Will someone go down there and have a word with them in their cars? Just have a quick whisper in their ear. Another 0, so a 0 there for Martin Cowley. So 53 will be the best score of the day for him. And we move it back to Hugh Saville now in that turbo V8 Toyota Corolla A86.
This is a really interesting car. I think it's got such high horsepower, 800 horsepower in such a small car.
Exactly that, yeah. Exactly that, 800 horsepower, such a small car. But he runs big tyres. He did the Phil Morrison effect. He's got the small car, the big wheels on it, and put some big horsepower through it, and it works. But Saville right now struggling to get to that qualifying line. You can see him there just using the handbrake slow down. There is a de-acceleration zone, so if you see guys on the handbrake or foot brake coming into clipping point 3, that is allowed. That is a de-acceleration zone for our drivers. Oh, and a big straight in there.
It's that river again that runs down the track after clip 5.
We need to build a dam. If we've got any dam builders in the house, we just build a dam across the track there, so the water flooding. Yeah, and another 0 again. I've never put so many 0s on one piece of paper in my whole life. Willie Hanna now, topping qualifying at the moment, so your first place Pro-Am qualifier, your first place Pro-Am finisher, currently leading Pro qualifying, Willie Hanna. So Willie Hanna with a 75, he's going to be feeling really very confident. Can he beat his first qualifying score? Well, he's going to try to. Nice initiation, close to the wall. And Hamill, look at that, using the wall in the middle of the track to extend the car, move it closer to the line. It gets bang on the line there as he, oh, but he shuts it down. He's broken the drive shaft. 100%, you could just see it spin one wheel. I just looked over the edge behind, over the top of our monitor, me and Sarah, commentating the tower from a monitor, and you can see there, look, rolling burnout, one drive shaft, so he's done a drive shaft. So again, another issue that arises its head will be the patchy weather conditions. You know, Willie Hanna snapped an input shaft on his gearbox, clutch kicking. He did. This time the gearbox is a little bit stronger, and now it broke a drive shaft.
Not what he needs right now, but he did put in quite a strong run one, so hopefully that's still going to see him up there.
Yeah, we move back to the line, Sarah, and who is up next?
So next up we have...
That will be Oliver Bolton. Yeah, Oliver Bolton. Yeah, 66 on his first qualifying run. Oh, and he tags the wall. Just knocks himself off that line. It looks like it's going to work, though. Using the wall to his... Oh, and that car grabs a misfire and puts him in the middle of the circuit. Now, Bolton, very, very scrappy. Yeah, and that car... grabbing a misfire and Bolton abandoning the run. Yeah, and just got a misfire. You can hear it as he transitioned into that. Will be a 0, so Bolton's best score today will be a 64. I wrote a 66 down. I was being giftful. I gifted him some more points there. So 64. Mark Gemmell now comes to the line.
2017 Scottish Drift Champion.
Yeah, he's been drifting for around 4 years, representing MG Autotech, Cube Wraps, Arlon Coatings, LS2 under the bonnet. No, that's wrong, that's not anymore. It's a BMW M54, I do believe, a 6-cylinder BMW turbo. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. It was last time I looked. As Gemmell does a very nice job there. You can see him left foot braking as he gets into the outer zone 3. Steadies himself up, nice line through 4. Good transition back. This is looking like a fast run. And Gemmell would have sat in that line watching the live feed and said, I know what I need to do, but he didn't need to drop that clipping point. That was a big mistake there for Mark Gemmell on the end of that run. So score drops in there for Mark Gemmell, and it will be a 34, so a 34 for Mark Gemmell. The only driver to score 2 scores in qualifying at the moment.
There's a lot of pressure on him.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure on him, not scoring yet. Peter Hayden, and this is a borrowed car, right?
From his brother.
He borrowed this from his brother.
It was his ex-Pro-Am Drift Cup car. So Peter Hayden will know this car like the back of his hand, but he jumped out of it and let his brother drive it for the last 2 years in Drift Cup and in BDC Pro-Am. while he piloted his new Nissan Laurel. But right now, Peter Hayden looks like a fish out of water as he tries to put a qualifying run in. Scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. He scores a 0 again, so 2 zeros there. And it's actually the wrong profile photo there for Peter Hayden. That is Mark Hamill.
Oh, well, we've got that mixed up then.
No worries at all, though, as we move back to the start line. And it will be David Egan now, 42 on his first qualifying run.
Irish driver, representing Mobile One, Sunco Racefield, Funker Motorsport, Mega Spec, Simpson Racing, Westlake Tyres and Ford Performance.
Yep, driving representing full performance this weekend, but in a Nissan 180SX, as Egan puts that back wheel perfectly on the line. Nice job so far from David Egan. Look at that, nice and deep into outer zone 3. Judges will be liking this so far, as it's very tidy from David Egan. He would have sat back and looked what everyone's doing as he smokes up the centre of the circuit, and again finds that nice qualifying line. David Egan, oh, with a big error. Oh, did he break a drive shaft as he went through the water? Sorry.
That river is catching everybody out.
Yeah, look at that. And it will be a 0. It will be a 0 for David Egan.
Look at his suit. Look at that.
The Traxedo. That's Pete Nilsson's suit. You give Pete Nilsson some credit for that, because that was his design. Yeah, that water in the middle of the circuit there, I think that is an absolute drive shaft killer. As soon as them guys are hitting it, it's just completely ruining the cars. Yeah, back on the line though, Sarah. Who's next?
Ivan Auskas, Lithuanian driver, and he's in the R33 2JZ.
Not sure what happened there on the run-up. Looked like he went for a clutch kick in that car, just hit the rev limiter, maybe a gear shift problem. A 17 on his first qualifying run. And you can really hear. Oh, and he's off circuit. And he's over-rotated there. There's a big problem with that car. As we see gentlemen take it off the circuit. Yeah, Gediminas taking that car off track. Just to have a look at the monitor, see if it was anything visible, anything easy to spot, but unfortunately not, as Gediminas will take it off the track, and that will be a 0. We need to obviously make it official. I'm just a commentator, not a judge.
That's it, we're not here to judge, are we?
No,
we're usually wrong.
I do judge people.
Secretly.
In my mind.
Yeah.
A 14th place at the moment with a 17-point run, and that could just be enough this weekend to get Gediminas in the competition. We move it along to Leonard Keppert. So Leonard Keppert off the line in that IROC performance. Westlake Tyres. BMW E46. I do believe this car built by the legendary HGK in Latvia and refined in London by the Romanian. As Keppert now finds that nice qualifying line, a good transition back, sit him up nicely on the perfect qualifying line. And he goes one, oh! And again, look at that river. We need to do something about that. I'm just not happy.
Has anyone got a hairdryer?
Matt House has.
I've heard that.
And straighteners.
He got some nice shampoo last night as well. Went to Alster's.
He went to Alster's, got some shopping, got some shampoo. Look at that. We make it official, it will be a 0. So 2 zeros there for Leonard Keppert, and we move it along to the next guy. It will be Ollie Elmore.
Representing Hell Performance, Westlake Tyres, GGA, Motive Components and Wise Fab in the R33 2JZ.
Yeah, he said he was mapping this car on Thursday before the event, so we're not sure of the power. He said he fast-tracked his way through all 3 classes one season back in the day. And now Elmore, a veteran in the pro class here at the BDC, but he's on the wrong line at the moment. As we see that car crabbing through the centre of the circuit. Gets on a nice line. And again, Elmore this weekend suffering with throttle body issues on that 2JZ, but he does put in a qualifying run, and not a bad run at all there for Elmore, to be fair. So he scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. Can he get a score on his second? Yep, looks like he is going to score a run. So there we go, a 31 for Ollie Elmore, and he'll be happy with that.
He's got a score on the board. That's what's on the line right now, isn't it?
Yeah, back to the line we go, Sarah. And who's up next?
We've got Ollie Sillcock, and he's from Essex, so he's your mating.
Yeah, he's one of my home slices.
One of your home slices in the PS13.
Yeah, immaculate car this. GBH Motorsport represented on the rear quarter. That big Country Laps wing hanging off the back in that PS13. And this car really well built and very well maintained by Ollie Sillcock and his crew. And Sillcock not doing a bad job at the moment. Sillcock, another guy who did put in a good score. He scored a 42 on his second, and I'm going to say there's pretty consistent runs there from Wally Sillcock.
And that's not too bad. I think he's returning back after 2 years of not driving as well.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's taking some time out.
Fresh. New engine.
Yeah, new engine.
Built in his shed, he said.
Yeah, the operations
nice
manager.
Shed.
So that was a 1.6. Is that the size of the car, the ball in there? So just waiting to get confirmation if that's the right score or not there for Oliver Sillcock. Nevertheless, we make our way back to the start line, and it will be Alistair Sutton.
This S14A BMW V8.
Yeah, Sutton scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. And it was patchy at best on his first qualifying run, and it's almost dry now. So can Sutton make this work, remembering that this guy having big issues with this vehicle, having to turn it off and turn it back on again mid-run. That's like trying to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. And look at this, Alistair Sutton doing a very nice job. Judges applauding that one. Very, very nice run there from Alistair Sutton. As the wind picks up just a little bit more, because why not? Why would we not want some more wind? We've had rain, wind,
as long as it blows the rain clouds away.
Snow will be next. We've had a beautiful day. On Friday, it was like a tropical country.
It was like we were on holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a shorts and t-shirt. It was beautiful. Saturday, not so much. And look at this, a 64 for Alistair Sutton on his second qualifying run. He'll be happy with that one. We go back to the line, Sarah.
Hayden Cruikshank from London in the Fig Newtons Toyota Cresta. I love this car.
Yeah, and Hayden's such a nice guy, such a good personality, and always up for a good laugh. He fires it in though, just about catches a wheel on the edge of that outer zone 1 and again on outer zone 2. He's on a very shallow line at the moment. He's not risking anything. Does manage to get to 3, but only just about. That's going to be the story all the way through this one. I think he's on line, but ever so slightly off of it, which is not pushing him deep enough into those outer zones. He does, however, manage to put in a qualifying run. And Hayden Cruikshank in that Toyota Cresta JZX81 will be happy to get a score. Yeah, look at this, the scores drop in. So 33 to 33 there for Hayden.
Jason Clark next, Wakefield driver. He's a fabricator.
He certainly is, yeah.
Representing Slide Motorsport, Comp Clutch, Rammer and Fuchs Oils in the RX-7 1JZ.
Yeah, Jason Clark responsible for some of the builds in the paddock right now, especially that of Adam Simmons. Jason Clark worked tirelessly to build that car. And look at this from Clark as he puts that car onto the wall. This is looking tidy right now for Jason Clark. Oh! And a big error there as he gets a little bit of understeer. Works his way back into it though, does Jason Clark. He's got a 0 on his first qualifying run. He won't want to be out of the show just yet, so Clark, thinking about what he's doing, finds that line again. When you can hear that car just not playing ball, really working it hard, does sacrifice out of zone 6, but nevertheless it is a run in the bag there for Jason Clark. And not a bad score from what Kyle was dropped in. Do the rest of the judges agree? No, they certainly do, and a 42 there for Jason Clark, and we move it along.
Next up on the line, Judy Robinson. She's from Hampshire. She's a drift instructor as well. So she's definitely got some experience behind her there in the R32, RB25.
Yeah, Judy Robinson, one of the lowest powered cars in our pro class. And running on those Tri-Ace tyres borrowed from Willie Hanna. And look at this. She's absolutely flying at the moment.
She looks
it's gripped up massively. Yeah,
I was just about to say the word. She looks a lot more comfortable than the last run.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And pull the bumper off.
That car just gripping up ever so slightly. Just goes to show you when them Tri-Ace tyres really do come in, provide a lot of grip. And Julie just trying to finish that bumper off, you know. So she's already knocked it off. Why not run it over? Well. Yeah, just run it over and finish it. Get it away from her. She's not interested anymore. And unfortunately there, that young lady will bow out of competition. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute OG in UK drifting. Always got a smile on her face, whatever the decision. And
she just loves what she does, doesn't she?
Yeah, we need to make that official. Yeah, look at that, a second 0, so that will be Judy Robinson out of competition. We move it along to Robin Neeson now.
Another one of our Irish drivers in the Nissan 180SX. 800 horsepower, so this is up the ladder of horsepower a little bit again, isn't it? Bit more power. And now it's drying out, he might be able to use that to his advantage a little bit.
He might be able to lay it down, yeah. The refrigeration engineer from Ireland comes in nice and hot, nice and close to the wall. Yeah, tags the wall there. Neeson with precision as he makes his way through the two rivers in the middle of the circuit. And now starts to smoke up the tires on the back of that 180. Neeson nice and deep into the outer zone. And a nice transition through the centre of the circuit into outer zone 5. He watches nice and wide. Back out that wide line. The judges are looking for just one more clipping point to catch, and he's done a very nice job there from Robin Neeson.
So he's got a 0 in his first run.
Yeah, so Robin Neeson scored a 0 in his first qualifying run. I had to clarify that, but this looks like it could top qualifying at the moment. Brad says 79, Gaz says 74. Where does Kyle drop in? With a 60 out of 73, puts him into second place at the moment, and a 73 for Robin Neeson. A very good run there.
Nathan Chivers on the line now from Kent, so he's had a little bit of a drive as well. LS2 supercharged, Nissan RPS 13, 700 horsepower.
Oh wow, that's a big angle. Wow. But he shuts it down, he knows he got it wrong. Just came in too hot, and do you know what, for me, that's not the game plan that Nathan Chivers needed to be doing. He scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. He needed to just, the track is 99% dry now, apart from those two little rivers that run through the middle of the circuit, right there, and right there. Nathan Chivers should have really dialed that car in for a completely dry setup and just gone out there and done a tentative run. We will make it official. It will be a second 0 there for Nathan Chivers, and we go back to the line.
We've got a few drivers out there who've scored 0 so far, and then you just need to put a safe run in, don't they? Get a score on the
certainly
board.
do, yeah. A safe run would just get you a spot in that top 24. Only 24 of our drivers make it through to competition later on. The top 8 automatically qualify for the top 16. We get the thumbs up all around here at the town. We're good to go with Alexis Drew.
Alexis Drew in the R34, 600, over 600 horsepower, nearly 700 horsepower actually.
Yeah, Drew in that G3 Pro. It's that Skyline R34. Very tentative entry, and you can see he's way off that qualifying line. He needs to get the back of that car way closer to that line, and he is miles away at the moment. This is going to be a very, very low score for Alexis Drew. He currently sits on a 0. In his mind, does he think that a run, as low as it is, could get him a spot in top 24? And you can see Burkhoff's there on that drop-off zone, that red line denoting the drop-off zone is still on a 0, so still got a few drivers to go. We'll wait to find out what the score is there for Alexis Drew. And a 21, so a 21. It was a very, very low score there for Drew, but nevertheless the score on the board. Stefan Stefanov now. He scored a 21 in his first qualifying run as well.
He'll be hoping for a lot better. He can do a lot better than that as well. Paul Diving driver now lives in Worcestershire. 500 horsepower S13 with a 2JZ under the bonnet, represented by Soft Electronic, Fix Auto and Hitcar.
So there we go, this looks more like the Stefan Stefanov.
Yeah.
You can see him really working the clutch in that car. Big angle through 5, but he sacrificed the line ever so slightly. Makes his way out. The sacrifice is 6 again, but he does get a score on the board, and Stefan Stefanov will be happy with that, especially with that breakdown earlier on. And I was just, while you was commentating on that, just went over and got some cheeky information from the judges, and they said to me that a 0 won't qualify. So if you score a 0, doesn't matter, you're not inside that top 24. You have to have got a scored run to qualify for top 24 competition later on. So there could be a few bye runs. If we continue the way we're going, we could see a few bye runs. If not, this is going to be one of the lowest scored qualifying sessions we've ever seen, as we wait for Gaz's score to drop in. And an 18 for Stefan Stefanov. He does get 2 scores on the board nevertheless. We move along Christian's Burkhoffs now.
Latvian driver from London, BMW E36, LSX supercharged.
Yeah, very straight line initiation there for Burkhoff. Burkhoff got a 0 in his first qualifying run, and that car shakes the tower as it drives past. So loud is Christian Burkhoff's BMW E36. And the Latvian, again, another driver. As low as that score is, just knows that score on the board will get him a shot inside top 24, and he does put a run across the line. And the wind picked up so much that it felt like we was going to get blown out of the tower then, Sarah.
It did. I think we need to probably hold on to something. Need some ratchet straps around our feet or something.
Just strap me down to the tower and just let the roof blow off. So score drops in and a 21. Yeah, another 21 there for Christian Burkhoffs. Up next, Adam Simmons, a 0 on his first qualifying run. Not surprised, there was a lot of zeros.
There certainly was. It wasn't a surprise, was it, at all? But hopefully he's going to put...
He's shaking his head, look at that. Disappointment in the car. Adam Simmons knows that he can do better than that. And
he
knows
does, and he can. We know that.
We've seen it in practice earlier. We've seen Simmons putting in some very, very good qualifying runs. But right now, Simmons knows it is all on the line for him and that DKM BMW Z4. As he now finds himself offline, as you can see, out completely sacrifices out of zone 3. Gets on the throttle. As a head honcho at the BDC, holds down the gazebo just so we can get through this qualifying session. Adam Simmons puts a run together and across the line, and as scrappy as it is, again, another driver knows that just a score, no matter how low it is, will get himself a shot inside that top 24. And then we go at 34 for Simmons on his second qualifying run. We go back to the line. Ricky Lawrence now, the surprise guy. Dropped off track, scored a 0. He was looking so confident in practice. Everyone said he was the fastest, most confident driver on the grid. The local man, Sarah, what has he got?
He's got the Nissan 2JZ 500 horsepower, and he's been drifting for 3 years now, and started off with the Scottish Drift Championship, and now he's with us.
And now he is with us, certainly, and this is a very nice run so far from Ricky Lawrence. He sat back, adjusted his tyre pressures, and he said, I'm going to bring the show right now, as Lawrence puts foot to floor in the middle of the circuit. This is very tidy. This is going to top qualifying for sure. This is an incredible run for Ricky Lawrence as he takes it to the wall across the line. And the locals are liking that one, Sarah.
The locals are loving that one. Little wobble towards the end, but that was one of the strongest ones we've seen so far. It's got to be.
It's got to be topping qualifying for sure. That was one of the strongest runs we've seen. Was it enough? Willie Hannah was topping qualifying earlier on. Is it enough to knock Willie Hannah off of that top spot? It was just a little wobble as he come out of that outer zone 5 and headed towards the wall. He sacrificed 6, and there was a little bit of a wobble, and he had to adjust his line. Yeah, look at that, he has massively. And I can hear Gaz Taylor, our judge in the background, saying that it was right up until that point he had it in the bag, and a 55, so a 55.
That's still a good safe score on the board for him.
So off the line.
Ollie Evans.
Yeah, Oliver Evans now off the line.
Nice driver. Another 2JZ, 700 horsepower to this one.
Yeah, looking good right now as a Welshman. He makes his way through outer zone 2. Scored a 55 on his first qualifying run. Look at that left foot braking as he comes in out of zone 3. And Evans absolutely smoking up the Westlake tyres on the back of that VP Racing S14.5. And Evans, very nice job there. So look at this, currently 6'8", so he is in just inside that top 8 that are going to make their way through to that top 16. Can Oliver Evans better his score and secure his place inside that top 8? He certainly can. A 62 drops him up the order into 6th place, and we move it along to the top 5 drivers in the championship. Up next, Martin Wonnacott sits on the line of a battered and bruised JZX81 Toyota Chaser. Look at this, Wonnacott, no regard to the back of the car, absolutely incredible haul, but he drops the wheel. He keeps in it though, sacrifices out of zone 2. And now Wonnacott finds himself back on that nice qualifying line. You can see the back of that car just popping up and down. Representing Pro Drift Academy, Pro Tuner, Walton Motorsport, Exo Racing, Figs Engineering, Hell Performance and Turbo Smart. Big clutch kick in the middle of the circuit for Wonnacott as he takes it across the line, and a second score in the bag for Martin Wonnacott. And now he sits in 8th position. He now sits on that zone. There's 2 drivers left to go that haven't scored a scored run at the moment. It doesn't look like Wonnacott is going to improve on that score at the moment. A 47 from Carl. Gaz says 49. And what does Brad say? And a 44, 46. So he stays where he is in 8th position. And we move it along to the next guy, Tomas Falvey now.
Yep, our Irish driver is back again. S15 RB25. Representing Elite Autos, Drift 2 Motorsport, Moose Design Mobile 1 and Corvo seats.
Oh, looking very nice so far. That was absolutely clinical there from Falvey. A little wobble and it washes him off the line. Looked like this was going to be a storming run from that initiation. Get the back bumper absolutely perfect onto that wall, but now he's sacrificing 3. He transitions into the centre of the circuit. You see out of zone 4 there, he's completely dropped that one. Gets to 5, he's on that wide line. But to me, it looks like Falvey just still got a serious amount of grip dialed into the back of that car. And he scored a 0 on his first qualifying run, so he needs just a score.
Just needs something.
Just a score at the moment. And he's going to get one. He's definitely going to get a score this time as Tomas Falvey's score drops in. Where does it put him in standings at the moment? And he scores a 40 and it puts him in 17th position.
Mike Walton up next. Representing Walton Motorsport Garage DCIS, Mac Tools, Absolute Customs, and Stella Payne works in the Nissan S13 2JZ. With what he describes as quite a bit of power, probably. that's his technical measurement
well, he's going to need it now because it's not wet anymore. As Mike Walton, big strain. And that car doesn't sound too good at the moment. Manages to get it on song now as he makes his way into outer zone 4. Very nice line as he transitions back to 5, wheels it over the edge of that line. He scored a 49 in his first qualifying run, so he's safe inside that top 24 competition. And Walton will put 2 scored runs on the board. Unless it was a 0 from the straight, unless judges said that prolonged amount of straighten was a 0. We're about to find out, yeah, and it was a 0, yeah. A prolonged amount of straightening. Scott Cartledge now, he fired that car into the gravel. He finished on the podium at round 1, 3rd place on the podium at round 1. He knows to get into the fight and keep that championship hopes and dreams alive, he needs to put in a qualifying run.
He does, he's going to be under pressure now in that PS13. 4.3 litre V8.
Oh, well, look at that. Smashed the camera lens, flicked a stone up, smashed the camera lens there, did Scott Cartledge. And I could just hear our production crew in the background like, oh man, oh, what a big error again there from Cartledge. And there we go, Cartledge gets into outer zone 3, now starts to find that form. Not in the gravel this time for Cartledge. He does get nice and wide into 5. And Cartledge finds the wall and across the line. I'm pretty certain that will be a scored run, unless again that straighten in the middle of the circuit was a 0. And it was a 0, so it will be 2 zeros for Scott Cartledge. He will be out of competition. Our 3rd place finisher at round 1 out of competition already, and not the weekend he imagined up next. The last driver of the day will be Aramis Vascalis, your round 1 1st place finisher. And look at that, look what Cartledge did to our camera, smashed the lens.
Just about see Aramis through that lens at the moment in the E46.
No regard.
Absolutely, just destroyed the camera.
Disrespectful, that is, Scott Cartledge. I'm not. That's not my call. But on the line, Aramis Vascalis, your current championship points leader, undefeated in the UK at the moment. What has he got as he comes off the line? And the Lithuanian lunatic is going to want a top qualifying. Hannah at the moment, top's qualified. Oh, and he's onto the wall. Look at this from Aramis Vascalis. Knocking up the front brake nice and deep into the outer zone, and this could be a good run if Vascalis can hold it together nice and deep into outer zone 3, and he puts back on the power, dragging the rear end of that E46 around the circuit, transitions back into 5, nice and wide, big clutch kick, as you can hear him upshifting. Vascalis takes it to the wall. Driftland makes some noise for Aramis Vascalis, and that is what we came to see. Vascalis waited for the last moment. He said, you guys run, I'll show you the show.
He sat back and waited, hasn't he? Let everyone else do their runs.
Exactly, that score dropping. He currently sits 7th in qualifying. Can he top qualifying?
And that is why you call him the Lithuanian lunatic.
That is why he's the Lithuanian lunatic, Aramis Vascalis. We await his score to drop in a 72 from Carl. He's going to have to beat a 75 to top qualifying. Willie Hannah currently takes it. Doesn't look like he's going to do it. And there we go, a 73 puts Aramis Vascalis in 3rd place in qualifying. And how about that, Sarah? What a qualifying session.
Absolutely fantastic. I can't believe it goes from everyone scoring 0 because it's so wet that no one can control anything, and then all of a sudden everyone's banging these amazing scores out.
Exactly that. We take a look at our qualification results. Up 1st place, Willie Hannah continues the reign here in Driftland. Robin Neeson up next in 2nd place. 3rd place, Aramis Vascalis. 4th, Hugh Saville, our Pro-Am driver. 5th, Alistair Sutton. 6th, Ollie Bolton. Returning to the BDC, missed round 1, he comes back with a storm. 7th place, Oliver Evans. 8th, Martin Wanacott. 9th, Ricky Lawrence. 10th, Cowley. 3rd place in the podium. Yesterday, he's in that top 10. Don't forget those 8 drivers automatically qualifying into the top 16. We move along now. These guys are going to be doing battle. Mike Walton in 11th place, 12th for Paul Cunnington, 13th for Hamill, 14th for Egan. He didn't top qualify and he's got a lot to prove yet to keep going. 15th for Ollie Sillcock, 16th for Jason Clark, 17th for Tomas Falvey, 18th for Simmons, 19th for Quickshank, 20th for Ollie Elmore. 21st, Christian Burkhoffs. In 22nd place, Alexis Drew. 23rd, Stefan Stefanov. 24th. I'm rounding out our top 24 here at round 2 is Gediminas Ivanaskas. And there we go, the rest of those guys out of competition. And right about now, I do believe we're going to have a track walk. So for you guys in attendance, we're going to bring all of our pro drivers down in front of the judging tower. We're going to get an opportunity to come out, have a chat with our guys. I'm pretty sure that's going to go on. That's like gospel now. That's what we do. We let you guys out onto the circuit, have a chat, have a look around these machines that these guys have just been slamming into the wall. Guys, if you're watching at home, we'll be back at around 3 o'clock. I do believe for top 24 qualifying. I will wait to get that. It will be online. It'll be on the British Drift Championship page. Get on the page, yeah, give it a like, give it a follow. Dates and times will be up on there when we will be going live again for top 24 action. Top 24 and then the all-important top 16 all the way to the podium. Can Willie Hanna do it, Sarah? Can he stand on the top 7 of the podium for the second day running? Well, we'll find out soon. From me and Sarah and everybody here at BDC Round 2, we'll see you very, very soon.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.